Welcome to UXL, where you can learn new skills anytime and anywhere. Visit uxl.com to explore our full course selection. This lesson is part of a larger course. Check the video description below for a link to the full course where you can enroll. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. For your convenience, the course cover displayed on your screen provides the complete course title and lesson title. Let's proceed with the lesson. Lesson: Core Labor Rights and Their Global Application. Core labor rights, encompassing fundamental principles and rights at work, are essential for ensuring fair and humane labor conditions globally. Recognized and promoted by the International Labour Organization, these core labor rights include freedom of association and the right to collective bargaining, the elimination of forced or compulsory labor, the abolition of child labor, and the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation. These rights, encapsulated in 8 fundamental ILO conventions, form the basis of international labor standards and play a crucial role in fostering equitable working conditions worldwide. Freedom of association and the right to collective bargaining are cornerstones of democratic labor relations, enabling workers to form and join trade unions and engage in collective negotiations with employers. This right is enshrined in ILO Conventions No. 87 and No. 98, which provide frameworks for the establishment and functioning of independent trade unions and the conduct of collective bargaining. Empirical evidence suggests that countries upholding these conventions experience lower levels of industrial conflict and improved labor relations. For instance, in Sweden, where collective bargaining coverage is extensive, industrial disputes are relatively rare, and workers enjoy high levels of job security and benefits. The elimination of forced or compulsory labor is critical for protecting individuals from exploitation and abuse. ILO Conventions No. 29 and No. 105 prohibit all forms of forced labor, including debt bondage, human trafficking, and other forms of coerced work. Despite these conventions, forced labor remains a significant global issue, with an estimated 24.9 million people trapped in such conditions. Countries with robust enforcement mechanisms, such as Norway and New Zealand, have successfully reduced the incidence of forced labor through stringent legal frameworks and effective monitoring systems. These examples underscore the importance of strong legal and institutional frameworks in combating forced labor. The abolition of child labor is another critical component of core labor rights, aimed at ensuring that children are not subjected to work that is detrimental to their health, education, and development. ILO Conventions No. 138 and No. 182 set minimum age standards for employment and prohibit the worst forms of child labor, including hazardous work, slavery, and exploitation. Despite international efforts, approximately 152 million children are still engaged in child labor, with the majority working in agriculture under hazardous conditions. Countries like Brazil have made significant strides in reducing child labor through comprehensive social programs, educational initiatives, and strict enforcement of labor laws. Brazil's Bolsa Familia program, which provides financial assistance to low-income families conditional on school attendance, has been particularly effective in curbing child labor. The elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation is essential for promoting equality and inclusivity in the workplace. ILO Conventions No. 100 and No. 111 mandate equal remuneration for men and women for work of equal value and prohibit discrimination based on race, gender, religion, political opinion, and other grounds. Discrimination in the workplace can manifest in various forms, including wage disparities, unequal opportunities for advancement, and biased hiring practices. For instance, gender wage gaps persist globally, with women earning, on average, 20% less than men. Countries like Iceland have implemented progressive legislation, such as the Equal Pay Certification, which requires companies to prove that they provide equal pay for equal work, significantly reducing the gender pay gap. The global application of core labor rights faces numerous challenges, including varying levels of economic development, political instability, and cultural differences. In developing countries, weak enforcement mechanisms, Limited resources and inadequate legal frameworks often hinder the effective implementation of labor standards. For example, in Bangladesh, the Rana Plaza disaster in 2013 highlighted severe deficiencies in labor rights enforcement, with over 1,100 garment workers losing their lives due to unsafe working conditions. In response, international initiatives such as the Accord on Fire and Building Safety and the Alliance for Bangladesh Worker Safety have been established to improve factory safety and workers' rights, demonstrating the importance of global collaboration in addressing labor rights violations. Multinational corporations play a significant role in the global application of core labor rights, as their operations often span multiple countries with varying labor standards. MNCs have the potential to influence labor practices positively by adopting and promoting ethical labor standards across their supply chains. For instance, the Fair Labor Association works with MNCs to ensure compliance with international labor standards, including the prohibition of forced labor, child labor, and discrimination. Companies like Patagonia and Nike have partnered with the FLA to improve labor conditions in their supply chains, demonstrating that corporate responsibility can drive positive change in global labor practices. International trade agreements and economic policies also impact the global application of core labor rights. Trade agreements that include labor provisions, such as the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, can promote the enforcement of labor standards by linking them to economic incentives and penalties. The USMCA, for example, includes provisions that require member countries to uphold labor rights, including freedom of association and the elimination of forced labor, child labor, and discrimination. Such agreements can enhance labor standards enforcement and create a level playing field for workers and businesses across participating countries. However, the effectiveness of international labor standards depends on the commitment and cooperation of national governments, employers, and workers' organizations. Governments must enact and enforce labor laws that align with international standards, while employers must adopt ethical labor practices and respect workers' rights. Workers' organizations, such as trade unions, play a crucial role in advocating for labor rights and holding employers and governments accountable. Collective action and social dialogue are essential for achieving sustainable improvements in labor conditions and ensuring that core labor rights are respected and upheld globally. Education and awareness raising are also critical for promoting core labor rights and their global application. Workers need to be informed about their rights and empowered to advocate for themselves, while employers and policymakers must understand the importance of labor standards for social and economic development. International organizations, non-governmental organizations, and labor unions can play a vital role in providing education and training on labor rights, as well as monitoring and reporting on labor conditions. For example, the ILO's International Training Center in Turin offers courses and workshops on various labor-related topics, helping to build the capacity of labor stakeholders worldwide. In conclusion, core labor rights are fundamental principles that underpin fair and humane working conditions globally. The right to freedom of association and collective bargaining, the elimination of forced labor, the abolition of child labor, and the elimination of discrimination are essential for promoting social justice and economic development. Despite significant challenges, including varying levels of economic development, political instability, and cultural differences, the global application of these rights can be achieved through robust legal frameworks, effective enforcement mechanisms, corporate responsibility, international cooperation, and education. By working together, governments, employers, workers, and international organizations can ensure that core labor rights are respected and upheld, leading to a more equitable and just world of work. This concludes the lesson. We trust you found this video informative and engaging. To enroll in the complete course, please use the link provided in the description below. At UExcel, we are committed to your learning journey. Each course offers a certificate of completion, online support, and downloadable resource files to enhance your experience. If you found our content valuable, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to supporting your continued pursuit of knowledge.